All right, guys, welcome back to Comics Only, the only podcast where comedians talk about comedy with other comedians.
That's a good one.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. My guest today is writer and comedian Keith Ellis. Thanks so much for being here, dude.
Appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, of course, dude.
A podcast that talks nothing but comedy.
Yeah. I know, it's such a nerdy concept. It's called Comics Only because, like, I had this realization. It's like, I think basically only open mic comics are only ever going to listen to this. Like, that's what it is, you know?
I would hope that they would listen to it.
Yeah, you would hope. There's a lot of valuable information for people who are just starting comedy in what I do. That's the main thing. I don't know how much experienced veterans like you would get out of it. How long have you been doing comedy now?
How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 32.
At least,
All right.
I'm in the 2 old mark.
Yeah, you're past 20 years.
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
Yeah. Acting comedy. So yeah, I'm past the 20-year mark, and it's still a school. I'm still learning.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still learning.
Where did you start? Yeah, pull that mic as close to you as possible.
I started in Phoenix on a bet.
Really? You're from here?
Not originally.
Not originally. Okay.
I moved to 8th year. I'm Indiana, but no, there was a guy that back in the days, if anybody remembers, the club on Black Canyon Freeway, and it was called Laughs Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Northern and Freeway. And went there one night, and the guy was like, "Man, I bet you wouldn't get up there." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I bet you would." He was like, "Bet you $100." And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna take this bet.
Yeah, that's easy money.
I didn't know he knew the owner, and he went to the owner. Owner came back. I'll put you up next week. I'm like, what? No material, no nothing. Got up 1 second place. It was a packed house. Owner's like, "I want to have you back." Like, okay. I didn't know everybody's looking at their notes.
Damn, dude, really?
Stuff. Yeah, I had no material whatsoever. I didn't even know you're supposed to have material.
That's such a wild, like, so you were meant to do comedy, basically. Like, you didn't even almost have a choice. The universe was like, here, you're going to do it. And then after your first time, you just loved it, huh?
It was one of those, well, I got into acting and other stuff, but I was walking around because there was like 13 people on the show.
Yeah.
I never did it before, so they had notes, and I thought they had fill out paperwork. I was like, "Ooh, am I supposed to fill out some paperwork?" And they're like, "No, these are my set list." I'm like, "What's the set list?" And it's like, "This is my material." And so I started talking to different people from New York and other places, and they're like, "What are you going to talk about?" I'm like, I don't know. I'll wait till I get on stage."
Yeah.
And exactly how it happened, and I saw right then and there people were talking about New York. Nobody laughed because nobody's from New York.
Right.
So I started learning things right then and there, and then I was like, I went up. I think we'd get 7 minutes, and next thing you know, like, second place. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it. Yeah. Your first time doing comedy, you got second place in the competition.
First time doing comedy.
I just had one of the best sets of my life in the Stir Crazy competition and didn't advance past my round. So,
but see, it's not about the advancement.
Yeah.
Because it's like the thing is, what you did is like, you never know who was watching you to hook you up for another gig.
That's true. A lot of important people were in the building.
I've seen you, so it's just like, okay, I get you.
Right. It's just a matter of time. The right people need to see me.
That's why I don't like to do contests.
Yeah.
Because back in the days, you do contests, it's like who can bring the most friends.
Sure, of course.
So that's why I'm like,
nah. It's never who just produced the most laughs.
Right.
Because I would have passed if that were the case that night. I'm not even trying to be cocky.
Right.
Just that's how it was that night.
Right.
I've been in plenty of contests where I knew I wouldn't advance because I sucked. But one night, I did well.
And you're walking up like, what just happened?
Man, a lot of that, dude. Bombing. I hate comics that are scared to bomb.
Why?
Because
that's the lesson. That's a trench lesson right there.
Yeah, you shouldn't be scared though. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, just go through it. Like,
but see, a lot of comics have fear of bombing and the fear of silence.
Yeah.
So if nobody's laughing, they're scared.
Yeah.
And if they bomb, then they just attack the audience.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why are you messing with them? They didn't all get together and say, let's not laugh.
They did not.
They're not on the back.
They want to laugh, especially
goes up,
people.
Don't laugh.
It drives me crazy when people don't realize, like at Stir Crazy, it's like if you're bombing there, that's a bad sign because they're there to laugh.
You know who's always laughing out loud.
Yeah.
So, and if he's not laughing, like, wow, am I that bad?
Yeah, straight up. How long have you been working at Stir Crazy? Probably since they started ish. Yeah. You know Tom well.
I've known Tom, man, at least we're going about 10 years.
Damn, yeah, that's a while.
Yeah, so
It's a while to know somebody.
When Tom was in the market doing shows, we were all doing shows together here and there.
Yeah, they say it a lot, but as you get farther into doing comedy, you realize how true it is. Like, just like having connections, just like the people you know is really important. People who like you. Like,
if you, in this business, another comic that always says, there's enough to go around. But comics are so selfish, thinking that I can't get this gig, or I don't want that person to get this gig, so I won't tell them about the gig.
Yeah.
There's enough to go around.
Yep.
So whether it's 55 plus, whether it's these bars, private events, there's enough for every comic to go around.
And there's potential everywhere.
And there's outside of this, so it's all in how you're going to react to one another and treat each other.
Yeah.
So
my advice to comics who feel like they're not getting booked enough: start a room. You know,
see, that's
book a show.
Wait a minute. You said, since I get to be on this show, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah, keep it real, dog. That's
real.
what you're here
It's
for.
like they say some people, if you're not funny, you start a show.
Yeah.
If you're not funny, you become a booker.
Yeah.
So there's several people coming bookers that ain't funny.
Yeah.
And if it's just like, hey, you need to be working on your craft. It's about you getting up and not complaining about I'm not getting enough time. It means take the time you get up on is serious. So a lot of comics get up and they talk to the audience. Why? You only got 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Why are you talking to the audience? Use your material. Do your material, understand, get that out of your system, because once you say it enough, it becomes regular.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But they go open up
I
a
agree.
room.
There's a bunch of people that try to just book a room instead of getting good at comedy. That's definitely a real phenomenon. It happens a lot. But also, if you're a comic and you feel like you don't get booked enough, start a show and host it for a year. You'll get better at doing comedy. You won't have to beg anybody to get on your fucking show.
But see, if they start it, but it's like what have you learned when you started that? You don't even have the experience, the abilities. You know how to create a show.
Yeah.
But where are you still learning as a comic getting on stage? Where are you still getting your information on how to deal with an audience? Not from the other comics that get up there because you're just booking your friends, basically.
Maybe, yeah.
And then
but not necessarily.
But mostly.
Mostly.
I ain't here to bite no tongue, but mostly. Because, some places keep all year round. It's like you only see those 18 people. And it's like, that's it. And it's like, you don't go outside your circle.
Yeah.
And it's like, where does that circle end with those 18 people? And it's like,
true.
Dude, you got other
Then there's a lot of small circles around here, dude.
There's a lot of clicks.
Yeah.
A lot of clicks.
For sure.
I'm not going to book you if you look, but it depends on how you treat people also. So if you treat people with respect or, don't degrade them, and people get on Facebook and write these emails, this person suck, and this person shouldn't be playing, this person shouldn't be a booker, or this person, they try to tell you how to do things, and it's like, pay attention to what you're doing. Because there's a guy, I'm going to call it, he'll hit me up, hey, you available? You available? You available? Right, yeah. Never hear back from him. But we'll write something on Facebook and talk about, hey, this is how you need to be, and this is how you need to be, and this is what you should do, and if you want to be booked for a show. But it's like, really, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So am I upset with that? Like, no, it's just the truth in who you are.
Yeah.
So if you can't speak and be how you speak, you need to really shut the hell up.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, action speaks louder than words.
Right, way louder.
So don't be out there talking about, I crushed this room. And it's like, well, I was in the room with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what you
Crush is a strong word.
But I hear comics saying that, and it's like, dude, and I tell one comic, hey, it's like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And they're like, yes, I did. I said, if you that good, somebody would have told somebody about you. Michael Jordan doesn't have to brag.
Right. Yeah. We all know
funny,
who he is.
You don't have to brag.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to brag for you.
Sure.
But if you're not funny and you bragging on your own self, and it's like, well, you ain't that funny.
It's straight up.
So I'm just saying, if you out there work on your craft, quit paying attention to other people and what they're saying about you, just continue to work on your craft. Ask these veterans out there, ask them questions. I'll give you feedback on anything and everything, and wish you well, and hopefully get you booked more places.
Yep.
But people want to be all, I can't.
In their ego.
In their ego.
Right?
In their ego.
I mean, it's a lot of that in this. A lot of people get on in front of a microphone thinking what they have to say is important. It's like, just be funny.
See, there you go. Think it has to be important. This audience don't want to hear what you have to say about important. I mean, if it is important, make it interesting.
Yeah.
But they make it
funny.
They make it a conversation piece.
Yeah.
And then they try to make. If you talk for an hour, I bet you somebody laugh.
And just randomly, yeah. It's like, you're going to say something funny on accident.
Something's going to come, and you're going to be like, what did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say that was funny? And you're going to go back and find that hour video and look in there and find that 37 minutes in. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, exactly. I see you do a lot of like clean comedy shows. What percentage do you do clean or not clean?
Pretty much all my shows are clean.
Pretty much all of them?
You might hear hell, you might hear shit, you might hear damn, but
that's it. Yeah.
You don't hear any hard sexual jokes. No,
sure.
But that's that. I mean, that keeps me working.
Yeah, of course, man.
That actually kept me working through COVID. That kept me on. I mean, the cruise ships.
I was gonna ask, do you do cruise ships? That's how's that?
I've done cruise ships for at least a couple of years in Norwegian Cruise Line, and the thing is, you meet people, and that's it. You continue to meet people.
Yeah.
As time goes by, people, you don't sit out there and have an ego and be an ass and all this other stuff. I get calls from guys on the cruise ships like, hey, you want to go do Lithuania? You want to go do Portland?
Right.
You want to go do Poland? You want to go? And I'm just like,
the international scene's crazy, huh? A friend of mine from Eugene, he started doing comedy in South Korea, Seoul, South Korea. Met Kyle Kinane.
See?
A bunch of other names you've heard of.
See, and they'll just
that
pull
they
you
would
on.
flow out. They fly them out to do shows in Seoul.
And I've seen them actually where, been on tour with guys, and some guys have egos.
Yeah.
And I don't see them on tour again.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like that ego thing is like, I should be closing out the show. I'm stronger than this person. I should be doing this and that. I don't, that person's doing too much time. And it's all equal, but, there's that ego thing, and it's like, well, okay, we're not going to use that person again.
Yep.
So I'm just like,
why would you?
Yeah, Keith, what you want to do? Whatever you want to put me at, I'm good.
Just be easy, dude.
Just because I'm here.
Yeah.
You asked me to be here. Why am I going to trip in any other thing you want? What do you want me?
First, like a big part of comedy is like, are you easy to be in a car with? Right.
If you ever want to learn about comics, road trip.
Yeah, hell yeah. You'll learn something
I've
about
told
somebody
some
real
a few
fast.
things on a road trip.
Yeah.
I was like, you would screw me over if you could. You don't give a damn about me. And they're like, what? You joking, right? I'm like, no, I'm not. You asked me seriously. Yeah. I told you. And that was a quiet ride for 2 hours.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Though. I'm happy. I'm like, don't ask the truth if you don't want the truth. But on a road trip, you learn. It's like if that person's nasty, if that person just, I don't like people sitting in the car just make up conversation.
Yeah.
Sun's out today, isn't it? No, shut up. Just don't say nothing. Just don't make up conversation to have a conversation.
Yeah. Enjoy the silence.
Yeah, and just like on stage, silence is golden. That means they're listening.
Yeah. A friend of mine and I had to yell at a third friend of ours because he was just always talking, and we had to be like, it's okay, dude. Just be quiet for a while. Like, we enjoy these 40 minutes of quiet on the way to this mic. Like, just let us have it, please. He was upset, but
See, but that's the same thing when you get on stage. They get on stage, they don't know when to stop.
Yep, right.
Keep going. Oh, I need to get a strong closer. They look for a strong closer, or they just still talking, and that wasn't strong enough. I need to go find. And it's like all you're doing is just sucking the wind out of the audience.
Yeah,
you're just damaging yourself, and because you're looking. But silence, if you can stop and listen for 15 seconds, 30 seconds even, just silence. That's power in itself.
Yeah,
but a lot of people, I gotta say something.
Sure.
I gotta say something. So where you come from? What are you doing? It's like
right. You got to learn how to build tension. It's hard to just have laughs all the time. Sometimes when it's quiet,
you can hear things.
Then a laugh,
and you can think.
Yeah.
And when you're processing things, so it's like, wow. Right. Sure is quiet.
It's crazy when you realize how much you can like draw a laugh by just holding a silence. Right. And like, that's such a weird thing because you're getting laughs you wouldn't have gotten if you started talking.
They're waiting.
Right.
They came to laugh.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for you to say something funny.
Yep.
And however it comes out, and they're just like, or you might just get, like you said, that unknown laugh. Like,
but sometimes they need that time to laugh. You can't just
they're like,
power through your set. You've seen those comics where they just like speed run through a set and nobody ever laughs. Just it's funny. They just didn't give them the time to.
They're so mechanical and so it's like studying a movie script. You look at a movie script, you learn it, but you learn the mannerisms behind it. So I always say if you take an acting class, take a 101 acting class, and then that way when you get on stage with your script or your jokes, you know exactly who and how to be.
Right.
So
you can act like yourself. Yeah.
You can act like yourself, or you can act like that next character that you have coming up, and you can actually sell it.
Absolutely.
But if you have no skills and all that, you're gonna keep being the same person, and they're gonna see that same person in everything that you do, and it's like it's not gonna be funny because it's like, oh, he didn't change his voice. Yeah, that little old lady. Well, little old lady. And it's like, so if you do acting class, you understand. It's like, oh, I see it, and then your facial expressions even change.
You taking an acting class in Phoenix?
I used to take them back in the 80s.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The 80s.
That's all. Yeah. Said you've been doing this 20 years.
Back in the
and then
80s, yeah.
Acting, damn, since the 80s.
Great.
That's a head start, even that.
Great teachers back in the 80s. Yeah, I had some great.
I'm taking an improv class with Brian. It's actually my second time taking it with him, but
improv is cool.
Improv's fun.
I'm just like, I think I did improv one time back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And a person said, and this is the first time I ever did improv, you stepped on my lines. I was like, I didn't know we had lines because I got a laugh. He was like, you stepped on my lines. That was supposed to be for me, and I stopped because I'm like, I'd rather get on stage by myself and fail.
Right. What the hell is that?
I didn't understand.
That's not how improv even works.
Well, that person said something. I was like, you stepped on my lines, and that laugh supposed to be for me. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I was supposed to go. I was like, oh, and I was like, I'm done. I won't do improv anymore.
Yeah, people suck.
I'll go get on stage by myself. Crack a joke. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, it's still on me, but I don't have to look over at this person.
Yeah. What other scenes have you spent a lot of time in?
Scenes? Movies. I've worked in a lot of movies.
Oh, sure. I meant like comedy scenes, but
but
I would love to talk to you about movies too. That's crazy.
I mean, comedy is. I've gotten the pleasure of sitting down with some nice name people, big name guys, and listen to them. And I mean, whether it's they tell you. It's funny, you get like the big name people in a room, and there's always that either new comic trying to crack jokes.
Yeah.
Like he's auditioning for.
Oh, right. It's
and you're
so
like,
annoying.
You just shut up and listen, dude. They're giving you some.
You're not going to impress these dudes.
You're giving you jewels right now. You're like, hey, I was doing that once. And you're like, okay. And it's like, so they stop talking after this. And you're like, I was out in San Francisco, and Chappelle came, and we had met a long time ago. But he came out to Punchline.
Nice.
And he was going to do a spot. He had just popped in, and he went on. His friend went on, then he went on at 9:15.
Yeah.
And he says, I hope you guys don't mind. I just want to talk a little bit.
Just want to do a little something.
We're like, go ahead. So it's like 9:15, 10:15, 11:15, 12:15, 1:15, 2:15, 3:15. I had the time at the job, had a job, so I'm like, hey guys, I got to go. Call me when he gets off. I'm going to come back and see if I can connect with him. I went back. I got home about 3:45. They're like, Keith, he's still on stage. He didn't get up till like 7 that morning.
What the fuck?
He was just, and he was hilarious, but very. I mean, he's got a lot of knowledge. But he was like 9:15 to almost 7 in the morning. They said dude.
What in the world?
It was like nobody really left. Like,
no, you wouldn't, right? The stories you hear about Dave are so crazy. I heard a story about him that at some point in his career, after the Chappelle show had gotten canceled, he was still so big that when he wanted to do a show, he would just like tell the people around him, like, hey, let's do a show tonight. And like word of mouth would spread. And with no promotion at all, the show would sell out in less than 24 hours. Like a theater. He was selling out a theater in less than 24 hours just because like everybody would tell their friends and everybody would show up. Like if you heard like Dave Chappelle was in town tonight, you'd be like, oh, I'll go. Yeah.
Where's he at?
That's such crazy draw power. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started, I looked at something one day. I was doing some shows in Yuma.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to understand where you belong in the business. And I'm like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. And people like, sure. You could have been doing this here on TV. You could have been.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I've met the right people. I respect the game 100% even more so than I ever did before.
Yeah.
That's why I don't burn bridges or anything like that. But you wish everybody well. But I did a show in a spot. Matter of fact, it was in Yuma. And it was me and another comic. It was only, we did the first show at another spot. It had like 70 people. Cool. We did another show at another spot. It was only 14 people. And he was like, it's only 14 people.
That sucks, but.
No. See, because sometimes it's meant for how I look at it. The 14 people, we did the show for them, and they it was great. They just loved it. They were. So after the show, the lady comes to me. She says, "Thank you guys so much for coming out. You know, in a little town." And some other people like, "Yeah, a little city. You don't have to come over here, but you guys come out here." And like, yeah, my father's terminal. He doesn't have much time to live, but I never seen him laugh as much.
Oh
as
my
he had.
God.
So then it's like you go over there, like, go take pictures with your dad.
Yeah.
Like what? I'm like, yeah, let's take pictures with him. Sit there. He was laughing. He was like, "You guys funny. You guys." And it's like sometimes you're like, It's like I come to the conclusion I go where Chris Rock and Kevin Hart can't go.
Yep.
Because these people don't have the $55 probably to go to the casinos to see them. And even if they did have it, are they going to meet them personally?
Right. Not even close.
Right. So are they going to go spend their money?
They're going to watch them on a screen.
They're going to laugh
their
their butts off, and then they're going to go home. But I'm like, when you bring, I hopefully look at it as great talent into a small venue, and these people appreciate you so much more, even if they slip money in your hand or thank you, or even the tears, like, God, I really appreciate you guys coming. You didn't have to come here.
Yeah.
You know, and
it sounds corny, but like the spreading joy part of doing comedy is very fun.
That's all it is.
It's
man.
very fun making people happy and laugh.
My job is done. I move on. If you laugh, good. If you didn't laugh, you didn't understand the joke. No.
Yeah. You guys suck. Not me. That's the worst. It's so annoying. Have you ever worked with Stanhope? I know he's around here. Doug Stanhope?
I don't think so.
Okay. He lives out in Bisbee or somewhere.
Probably have.
Maybe. Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
like,
Dude,
if I see him, it's like, oh, I remember you.
Hell yeah. What's the first club you worked out of Phoenix?
I think the first club had to be Improv.
Nice.
Had to be Improv, and then I made a comment about certain things that happened back in those days.
Oh yeah.
I still hold true to what I say.
I stand by it.
I still stand by it. Just like you said, unapologetic. Now, some comments and things, and it was like, no, and I don't want to do. It's like, would I do those clubs only if somebody else hired me?
Right.
Like I know Eric Sports, he's gonna do his thing. He's coming in. Me and Eric met years ago.
Sure.
And he's coming into town. I would go see him.
Right.
But if with the Improv call, would they call me? Would I go do a show there? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because I've known them for so many years that they haven't used me yet. And Stand Up Live before they were even partners again.
Right.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. It's not because I don't need the name. Oh, Improv. Oh, Stand Up Live. No, that's not. It's not gonna make me.
Yeah, those clubs seem tough to get into, man.
They're not. It's all about kissing butt, man.
Yeah, right. Sure.
I don't play the game. There's a saying that I have, and I'll say it right now. I don't kiss ass because it only takes 180 degrees to suck a dick.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't fuck with you then.
Yeah, but it's like I'm constantly working.
Yeah.
So
that's
I have
true.
no complaint.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I can't fold.
That ability to keep it clean goes a long way, huh? You get a lot of shows that a lot of people just can't do.
And that's what I always tell people. I'm like, just do 10 minutes clean. Learn 10 minutes clean.
Yeah.
It'll still get you a check. Because even if I do a corporate show, I would hire somebody 10 or 15 minutes clean.
Right.
Dude, go out there, do it.
I mean, I hosted at Stir Crazy, and that's exactly what they wanted. They're like, please do 10 minutes fairly clean. Like,
but then that shows that you can host an event, a show, a function.
Exactly.
But
you don't want a super offensive host. That's fucking crazy. Just comes out doing like black jokes. You're like, all right, dude.
That's what they said to Improv one day. They said, Keith, they're going to hire me for something. And it's like, no, we're going to, he's blacker than you. It was a white dude. And he's blacker than you. I'm like,
what the fuck?
Okay. Let's see him drop the N-word, huh? Let's see him. No, I do.
Right. Like if somebody's going to walk somebody, it should be the headliner. Right.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, well, if guys don't talk to some headliners, like, do not talk to the audience. They tell you as the host in the future, do not talk to the audience because they don't want the audience talking back to them. It'll throw them off.
Yep.
Or, like, I think D.L. Hughley, he likes no one talk to the audience because he ends with 15 minutes of work in the audience.
Yeah.
So if you've already...
right. So he doesn't want that done already. Yeah.
Right. He doesn't want all this because he comes up with his own little thing and other people will be like, I'm just going to go ahead and, where you from? And then where you from? And then what happens in the second comic? Because they're like, L.A. comics, they say do that. Mm-hmm. So L.A. comics, they have the talk about everybody. But if you got, let's say if you're in Improv, there's 300 chairs.
Right.
Nobody can see the people up front you're talking about. So
right. Nobody has any idea.
These people are looking back like, yeah, girl, you got some big old, cha-cha. I bet you that's why he. Mm-hmm. Now everybody's laughing around him, but nobody in the back can see. And they're like, okay, so they're being cheated.
If they're laughing, it's just because other people are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I mean, don't cheat the audience. Don't cheat the audience, man.
Yeah. You ever work Mic Drop Mania? Or
I think one time.
Just one.
Not since they had it, they redid it.
Yeah. So you're mainly in a stir crazy around here because I see you there a lot.
And I'm like, where am I at mostly? No, because I produce shows.
Sure. Your clean shows. Yeah.
It's like people say clean.
But
it's just do you. Just don't jump on stage and
be
make
gross.
Jokes
Yeah.
And, there's always a vagina joke and a dick joke and it's like, no, can you have material?
Yeah.
Material that you don't have. Because I talked to somebody a long time ago. I said, don't talk to the audience. Just do your material. And then they went up and we started talking to the audience. And it was two girls in the back that were talking. And they met at the bar just to talk.
Okay.
And they were going through some deep stuff. And it was like, so, hey, ladies, yeah, where you from? And they just keep on talking. And it's like, hey, I'm talking to you, ladies. Where you from? And he's, yeah, you effing so-and-so. Yeah. And it's like, why are you attacking them?
Right.
And it's just, and I was
they
like,
just didn't know this was happening,
right.
dude.
and that's what I mean. When I talk to people, nobody knew, do your material, man. Do your material. So he's offended. Now, next thing you know, he's lost his rhythm on his set.
Yep.
And he's like, I was just like, just do your material. That's what it's all about. This material. Perfect the material. Left, right, back, forwards, up, down. Once you know it, you're undeniable. Yep. I can do my material pretty much. It's like I have an hour or so of material, but I can do it in the middle. I can do it at the beginning. I can do the left. I can
know it.
Wherever I want to start.
Back and forth.
Because it's Keith, can you go give me 25 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith, can you give me 7? Yeah. Keith, you need a light? No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't.
I know 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 11. I know.
That's what 2 decades doing this will do to you, huh? It's so crazy to think about. I'm just coming up on 5 years, and it's like trying to imagine that 3 more times. It's like, all right, that's a lot.
And how much material you have?
Half an hour.
How much of it is funny?
20.
And see, now I can agree because I learned a long time ago. A friend of mine, he was doing a little thing. He says it takes you 1 year to get 7 tight minutes.
Yeah,
and that's performing 3 times a night, 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
Yeah,
and I was like, I got 20 minutes already. I've only been in the game for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, you always think you're better than you are, and then you can always look back at like maybe a month ago and be like, wow, I sucked a month ago, but I'm good now.
Well, I thought I had 20 minutes. I'm like, no, I got 4. I've only been in the game this long, but I got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That was actually funny. And I was like, he's actually right. It takes you a full year to get a 7 tight minutes.
Yeah.
So after the 5th year, I was like, 7. And I went up and I was like, okay, I got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Tight, nonstop, no audience work, no talking to anybody, just do material and they're laughing.
Yep.
So when I talk to people, they're like, how much time you got? I got 45. How long you been doing comedy? They're like 6 years. I'm like, no, you don't.
Man, probably
How
not.
funny
You
is
can do 45. You don't got 45.
You can do 45.
Yeah.
I say, how long will they laugh? All from 45? All 45? They're like, yeah. I'm like, no, they won't. No, they won't.
Yeah. Let's see.
I don't care what comedy club I can put you in. They're not going to laugh. If you say you've been in the game for 3 to 5 years, they're not going to laugh 45 minutes of you straight material. They're going to be like.
Yeah. I've never seen it. I've never seen a comic that's that new do 45 and have like a good set all the way
Don't
through.
worry, there's no such thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody
Shouldn't be
hoping
doing
to
that
take-
long.
Well,
So like probably 10 years, right? 10 years to get your 45.
10 years
probably.
you got 30 to 40.
Yeah.
10 years, 30 to
Yeah.
40. And that's, like I said, no talking to anybody. Just go right on stage and just like, I call his name out, like a Bob Gabota.
Yeah.
Bob would go up there and he could do 45 and just stand there and just one after the other, pow, 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 pow. And
It's a skill.
Yeah, you just look at it because I used to look at him like, dang, dude. It's like wherever we went, corporate events, whatever, Bob just, he's like, yeah. Nobody is like, don't talk to anybody. He just hits his jokes. They're perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
That's a real skill to just be able to plant and go. You know, the people that they don't even move their feet for a whole set. You're like, you're like, all right. You're locked in right now.
And the other people be moving, and it's like they're looking at the floor,
Yeah.
looking at the ceiling, looking at what they come up next, looking where they wrote their notes at,
Yeah.
something. No, I saw a guy back.
I hate notes, dude.
Good.
I hate
Hey,
when
you
people
see
use notes.
They sneak it on stage.
Yeah,
or
oh my
something.
God. Or when they're even blatant about it. I went to see a headliner at Mic Drop, and he used a full-size notepad his whole 45 minutes. I was like, I don't know, dude.
No.
Yeah, it seems off.
That's not what they're paying you for.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, I should be doing acting more with the script on set.
Well, you know. I know, right? Like it takes me out of a performance, and it's weird when people don't care. Like I know I've gotten into arguments about comics. Some comics are like, it's fine to take notes on stage. I don't think so.
If you take notes on,
it looks ridiculous to me.
If you take notes on stage, then you should get what you get paid.
Yeah.
And that means you shouldn't get paid much.
Yeah.
Because if you bring a crutch on stage with you,
right?
Because they came to see you do a show, whether it's interactive, whether it's just freelance, freestyle, that's what they're paying you for. It's the good money. But if you bring the notes on stage, it's like, okay, that joke didn't work.
That's a good caveat. I don't give a shit if somebody uses notes at an open mic.
That's what the open mic is.
It's fine.
That's the kitchen.
It's
that's
not
the kitchen where you cook.
Right. Yeah. But a book show, even just a bar show, like even which feels like an open mic a lot of the time. Yeah, some of those bar shows, it's 7 people there that didn't know comedy was happening.
Let me go. Wait a minute. You guys ever just run down the street? It's like, what?
Anybody here gay?
Just throwing.
It's not strong crowd work.
This is your notes. This is what you wrote.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Arizona is so wild compared. I started in Eugene, Oregon. You travel a lot. You do shows up in like the Northwest.
Yeah.
It's like you're not offensive, but you've probably noticed that those crowds will get tight about certain things. That you're like, I'm not even saying anything bad.
They say, Medford, the meth lab. What?
Oh yeah, they get offended about that.
Oh, we did a show there one night. And people were like, yeah, they're like, okay, nobody. I can be offensive, but it's just or say some things. I'm not worried about a heckler.
What room do you work in Medford?
It was a bar that had about 200 people.
Yeah, they're Chadwick's maybe? Something like that.
It sounds.
Yeah, there's some popular shows down there.
You just said a few things and people were like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I'm going black and white on the whole thing. And it was just like, oh my God.
You know Carl Lee?
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's there a lot. I don't know.
We have no more Portland to go to anymore. So if there's anything in Medford or
Eugene, I can hook you up with the Eugene people.
Why don't we just go?
I would love to go with you. Yeah, I'm going in May. Yeah. Oh, I'll go whenever. Yeah. Whenever you want. That's what my mom lives there, so I have a place to stay and all that. I'm good.
Let's set something up.
Yeah, I would love that.
I just want to go. Like, okay, then if we get running out.
Yeah.
I thought you weren't offensive, Keith. Well, sometimes I say things. Sometimes I will say some things.
I'm not. Well, yeah. I remember
PC,
you. Yeah.
But I am correct.
I am correct. Yeah. Oh, I love that opener. You just like really let the crowd know what they're in for with that opener. It's good to have a strong opener. It sounds so dumb. Of course it is. Oh man.
He's shying away. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We did it at like a place in where was that? Ice House.
Ice House, yeah.
The Ice House. We did a show and there's a girl. She went on and she was so. I'm thinking, okay, she's just messing around.
Yeah.
That was her act.
Oh my God. That's tough when a woman's too quiet and you're just like, hey, you need to speak up. Yeah, that's real tough.
Like that was it.
She
came off. I'm like,
sometimes it's like you have to learn how to project. Like you should be speaking. You should be speaking as if the crowd could hear you, even if you don't have a microphone. That's how you
should be talking to senior citizens.
Yeah. Those 55 slow. And over shows probably get you really.
That's what I learned.
Good at projecting.
It's like, let me speak slower. Because afterwards they'll come to you. You know you're really funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand you. Well, how am I funny then if you didn't understand me?
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you, it's like, you're really funny, your mannerism, but I didn't know what you were saying. You talk too fast.
I was at this show the other night, and it's a bar. There's probably 200 people in there. It's 2 levels. There's a level up here, a balcony that's full of people. And I'm bombing. And in my head, I'm kind of like, what's going on? Like, I feel like these jokes should work with these people. I just know the set I'm doing would appeal to this rural bar crowd normally. And this guy there's no stage. This guy who works there walks in between me and the audience and looks me dead in the eyes and goes, hey, nobody can fucking hear you. And I'm already yelling. Like, I knew the mic was bad when I went up, so I'm already yelling. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I try to get louder. And he hangs out on the side for a couple minutes and then comes back and he's like, hey, man, still nobody can hear you. And I just go, hey, guys, this was pointless. I'm going to go home. You guys have a good night.
And see, that's a lesson in itself. If you find your voice projecting on a mic
and
you still yelling,
yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Because now you're straining.
Yeah.
And they're catching your straining, but they don't really hear what you're saying. But they know you're forcing it out, so the joke don't even sound like the joke.
Right.
It's just,
It was a real exercise in pointlessness. It's just like I already knew it was quiet, so I was trying to be loud and slow, and it just.
You should have took.
You know what they literally did was they stopped the show and switched out the speakers and brought in 2 different bigger speakers, and I'm gonna go home. This is so dumb.
Like, can I go back up?
Yeah, right.
Can I go back up? I want to try this again.
You want to hear those jokes you kind of heard?
I want to try this again. I don't think you heard it. It's like, yeah, I thought it was the speakers. Yeah, you're laughing now. I don't want to say any more jokes. I'm done. I'm going to leave you guys
it was
wanting.
an awful experience. What's your worst comedy experience been?
I did a crowd, black audience, and nobody laughed.
Oh my God, dude. A black audience sometimes will not laugh at you. I mean, probably more for me than you if I had to guess, but sometimes, dude, they're like, this white boy is not funny. He's not it.
I had 2 comics from LA.
Yeah.
And let's just say I'm the host. Now, I've probably been in the game for 10 years of that, but you could hear this in that black audience.
The key tapping the table.
You can hear a fingernail tapping the table. And I'm like, yeah. Y'all don't hear me? Yeah, one guy like, yeah, we hear you. And I'm going to bring the other comic out. And he goes all crazy. Yeah, I was sucking this. I'm doing this. And they're just laughing. And then I'm back. And I crack a couple jokes. You hear ice in the glass.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to drink the ice. It was then the second time. It was like, okay, I brought the other comic out. They went crazy. I go back out there.
Nothing.
Nothing. And then after the show, when you do bad, nobody talks to you. The comics didn't even talk to me. Nobody even walked by me like, hey, hang in there. They're just like, I'm just like, nobody came up to me. No one even paid me. I don't believe that. It's just like, okay. Yeah. Years later, they said, Keith, you want to do this show again? I'm like, yeah, I want to do this show again. And we did it. It was, I don't know, 7 years later. It was at the same spot, and I'm doing it. And there's another comic named Anthony. He's around, but I haven't seen him in years. And black audience, all of a sudden, he said something. All of a sudden, the audience just froze up, and all of a sudden, it was me and another comic sitting there. I'm like, what this happens? Like, he said something to that guy right there sitting with the 2 white ladies, and blah blah blah. And it was like, oh, so the audience turned against him.
Right.
So I go on stage, and I said something, and all of a sudden, he said something to me. I was like, wait a minute, didn't you just say you almost died and your brother saved your life? I'm like, how do we know your brother wasn't choking you and somebody came and he stopped? And you hear the audience like, ooh. And all of a sudden, it just got quiet. I hear way in the back, I wonder how long he going to be up. I said, I'm going to be up another 27 minutes. You got a problem with that? He's like, no. I said, anybody got a problem with that? Because it's like, I stepped into him. It's like, I'm not afraid of y'all. So let's just do this. And then I went off, did 27 minutes, finished the show. His brother came over to me afterwards. It's like, man, you ain't even funny. I was like, okay. He says, you know what? I would have roasted your ass. I was like, what do you mean you would have roasted me? He says, I would have talked smack about you. I says, here, dude, I do 2 spots, one on 59th and Bell and another one over in Ahwatukee. Here's my card. Bring all the people you want. I don't even want the money. You bring all the people you want. I'll sit next to you, and you can just rip me.
Yeah.
But if you just talking, shut the F up, get the F out my face. The other comics like, Keith, I'm like, no, F these N-words. I'm done with this bullshit. I ain't intimidated by him anymore. He was like, damn. And he just looked at me and walked away. I was like, next. So it's like there's always that, you see the white audience, the black audience. The white audience, let's go to a comedy show. A black audience, yeah, they better be funny.
You better bring it.
They better be funny. I got $5. I'm like, that's a ticket. It better be a $45 show. Wait a minute. It's a $5 ticket. I mean, there's a whole mindset. It's like, let's go to a comedy show, honey. Oh, okay.
Expect more value.
Yeah. Go to a black show. It's like, yeah, they better be funny. Who are they? And it's like, yeah. So, I mean, it's a mindset, and there's not, where we're at some places, it's not enough profanity.
Right.
So one kind of got up there and said, MF this, MF that.
And he started crushing.
No.
No.
People were laughing. It was just one guy that said, I don't hear enough profanity.
Oh, okay.
One guy says, did he own the bar? Like, no. But you catered to that one guy.
Right.
When these families out here were enjoying, but you wanted to make that guy happy who just happened to be a regular at the bar.
Right.
No, I'm like,
It's
no.
not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you just changed the rhythm of the room because now you got people that might not come to the next show or whatever. But you know.
Right. Yeah, that's a big thing to remember. I mean, out here in Arizona, I found a lot of times it's hard to convince a bar to let you do comedy because they've had it before and people just say crazy shit. And we don't need you chasing our customers out, dude.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people. If you're going to do comedy, make sure you don't attack the audience. Just do comedy, but don't get too sexual. Pay attention to things in there and do material because it's a room you can work out, but people still go up and talk about sex, having sex, performing sex, this. And
it's like, yes, that stuff is funny. We also don't want to hear it.
But
right
nobody's
now.
made
Right.
it funnier.
Right.
It's already been done.
Yeah,
So if
right.
it's been done. How are you making it funny when all you're doing is just repeating something else?
Yeah.
There's a way to do it in a classier way, and there's ways to make money. Me and another friend, we could go do dirty.
Yeah.
But people are like, we want to film it. Like, no, we won't have that film because then I finally go viral.
Yeah.
Saying some crazy stuff. And it's like, wait a minute, I like to be clean, but if I screw up somewhere, then it's like, oh, here's Keith. I thought he was clean. Bam, bam,
Right.
bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, if you can figure out how to restructure your jokes in a nice way. I mean, I've heard people say, yeah, I was sucking this guy's and like I was sucking this woman's. And it's like, okay, those are all done.
You can say that in a different way. Right.
Different way.
Yeah.
Even if you just throw an innuendo out there.
Exactly.
And a look.
The gentler the innuendo, the better.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if you let them mislead them and they go there, that's not your problem.
Yeah.
Take them down on the road that you want, but make them travel how they want.
Do you have any like specials or anything like that? I know Brian has a dry bar special because he's
nobody wants
clean.
me. Nobody
No,
wants me.
really? I would think they would want you because.
I don't know what it is. I don't even, like I said, I sent Dry Bar a few things.
Sure.
I never heard anything back from them. And a couple places, Zany's, nothing. It's like, I'm like, whatever happens for me, it happens.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I don't, like I said, it's not a big deal. I'm supposed to be where I'm at. I do the cruise ships. I do overseas. I do with the troops. Yeah. And I'm just, if it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, because like you said,
I mean, it definitely seems like you work enough. So like that's the hardest part of doing comedy, right? Is getting real, like paying gigs and ones that aren't paying you gas money, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I work. I work. I do a show tonight.
Yeah.
And then I leave and I go to do New Mexico. But so
right.
they're allowed me to leave. But then I come back. I got other shows lined already up for February the 5th, the 7th, the 15th.
Right.
So it's like I work.
Yeah.
I love when the phone rings, the email comes in, text come in, or something like that, and I just go do my thing. And it's like I keep it quiet. I throw it. I promote it, but I leave it alone. And if somebody just says, "Okay, they want to do a dry bar,"
yeah, sure. I mean,
I would like to, but
yeah.
But all the associates or friends I know, even back in the days, some guys out in LA that we used to do shows back in San Francisco.
Yeah.
We all grew up. I mean, that's where I really started getting serious back in 2000.
Mm-hmm. With San Francisco. Nice. Like, that's a cool scene.
It's time to get serious. So
yeah.
Like Ryan Stout, I see he's gonna be doing some things. Steve Maison and it's Shang Wang and all these other guys. We've known
Shang's
each other.
getting big.
We've known each other, but it's just like everybody went this way. I jumped on the road and went by myself I was doing a company thing and I was hitting all the clubs.
Yeah.
So I was like, this company's gonna pay me to travel. So I was all South Carolina, Florida, New York.
Yeah, how many states have you performed in? Do you know? No. Damn. You're like, I've never counted. Like more than half of them. You think?
I think I've done more than half.
Hell yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah.
That is part of the dream. Is just getting to travel and seeing the country while doing comedy. Right. That's a big for me at least. That's a big part of my dream.
I said I wanted to do comedy and I wanted to travel the world. And like I said, all I've done is just try to treat people right, do things right. And what I did Kuwait, Qatar,
wow,
Poland,
more countries than states,
Bulgaria. I mean, I've traveled cruise ships. I mean, I think I did like 18 cruise ships in a year or something like that.
Where do the cruise ships normally go? Like down to Mexico, up to Alaska?
Some do Alaska, some do.
You've done all of them,
Cozumel, Roatan. I mean, wherever. So I was looking at trying to get to New Zealand. Or just
how cool would that be?
So it's just like I said.
I know a guy that moved back to Portland from New Zealand to pursue comedy, but said there's a pretty cool scene out in New Zealand. It makes sense. It's English speaking already. It's like most countries a lot of countries that aren't even English speaking have like English comedy scenes. It sounds so crazy
even
that
if
it's
you go,
that popular, but
like
it
in
is.
Germany, they speak English.
Right.
In Kosovo, English. Estonia, English. So I mean, so we do the military, even though Poland is invited over, and they even understand the Polish. They understand the military. They understand the jokes.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, you can do comedy pretty much. Go
It's
to
crazy.
the pub
Yeah.
and do comedy as the Americans, and people are like, yeah, "You speak English? Yeah, we speak." Okay. I mean, because it seems
It's
like
just
that's
a
the
strange world we live in. That's the case, but it's you
thing.
know.
What the money is like the Americans bring them.
Like apparently, there's a pretty poppin' scene in Barcelona, Spain. I've heard there's a really strong
I was
comedy
supposed
scene.
to go there before COVID.
Oh, damn.
I was going to leave
That'd
the
be
next
nice,
day
dude.
for 14 days.
Damn.
And it's like, COVID, all
Fuck.
ships have been canceled. I'm like, no. But like you said, it's and the thing I say for me, which is really nice, which I appreciate, I don't have a booker. Everything comes
Through
to
you.
me,
Yeah.
and it just, they call me or a friend refers me or something, and they're like, who's your booker? Me.
Right. Just hit me up.
Just hit me up, and hopefully we can work something out, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, if I got a booker, I don't know what would happen, but I guess I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Right. I mean, what would happen is they would take a bunch of the money that you made, and potentially, who knows how many more gigs you're getting. If it's a good booker, a lot more, and it would go well. If it's a bad booker, they're basically taking money you would have gotten anyways. And it's like, how do you know which is which?
Unless you be like Oprah, I need to see.
Right.
I need to see itemized.
Right.
What I want to see what I made, what you took off the top, what you took off gas. Then you got to go argue back and forth. I don't.
That's
wanna
like,
stay-
you know how to contact people. That's the thing about doing comedy in this day and age. Nobody told me I could do this. I just bought a camera, bought a light, bought a laptop, bought a mixer, and now I'm doing a podcast. Like, nobody said I could or couldn't. Any part of comedy you can do by yourself now. You can reach out to bookers. Like, there's so many less gatekeepers than, I don't know, 20 years ago.
That's cool.
Feels
though,
like.
that you can just open up in the podcast,
Right, of course it is, yeah.
and then you submit it out there,
And whatever's good stands on its own merit and gets attention. The only way to be successful these days is to be truly like extraordinary or undeniable. Like, just actually be good. And like, you can't argue with it. We all have the same opportunity. We can all put something up on YouTube and see how it does versus whatever anybody else's does. Sure, some people have advantages if you're riding like a wave of fame. That's gonna be an advantage.
That's what made me think about Morris Day.
Yeah.
Because he always has this saying, and he would always say, and I took this saying. One of his sayings is, in one of his songs, "I'm gonna make you love me."
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a saying, if I'm doing comedy, I'm like, "I'm gonna make you want me. I'm gonna make sure I'm so good that you can't deny hiring me."
Exactly.
So that's my thing. Is like, let me be that good that if you hire me and you're like, "Yeah, well, I hope you're funny," I'm like, "Well, we'll see." And I like when somebody comes back and says, "You were worth the pay."
Right.
You were worth. So that means I worked it. They enjoyed it with me, and it was me, Bob Capote, and Eric O'Shea. We just did a show, and
I heard Eric's so funny.
we did. I mean, they came to us, and it was like best show we've had in 5 years because we did another show somewhere else,
Yeah.
and they hired us, and they wanted us all three together again to do another show someplace. So we were
Okay.
like, okay, yeah, we can. Everybody dates. Yeah, we made it, and next thing you know, they put us all in the same stage, and people were just like, it was about over 200 people. They're like, this is the best show we've had in 5 years.
That's awesome.
That's all we wanted to do.
That's what That's all I wanted to hear.
You don't be like that one comment like, you guys are so funny. You just hang in there. You guys though were
I went to a mic with a buddy of mine the other night at Laughs Comedy Club down in Tucson. And afterwards, we were standing outside, and a comic came up to us, and they came up to me, and they're like, "Hey man, good set tonight." They looked at my buddy, they're like, "Hey man, have a good night." Walked off. So funny. He was just like, "Okay." Like, what? We all know what happened. He can't be upset. Like, he didn't have a good set.
That's funny. Have a good night.
It's not going to feel better if he just looks at him and goes, "You too." You know, like.
You did too.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
You gonna sit there and argue? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, you did.
I hate that when somebody's like, "Hey man, you did good tonight," after you bomb or it wasn't good. You're like, "Fuck you. That was not good for me."
Well, I mean,
I would way rather somebody just be like, "Hey, bombed pretty hard tonight, huh, bro?" Like, way more prefer that.
Well, there's other people that actually go on to bomb.
Yeah.
They want to bomb, and I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
why?
Oh my God. This one comic back in Oregon told me, he's like, I kind of resent the jokes the audience laughs a lot at. And I was like, you need to stop that. He's like, I like the jokes that barely get laughter. I'm like, that's not how this works.
It said comedy. Look up the definition.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Try it the other way.
Laughter.
The ones that get a lot of laughs, say those a lot. Try that and see how your
It
comedy
might pick
career
up your-
goes.
yeah, it might give you a little extra check.
It's
somewhere
so
down the road.
crazy.
Because some people would actually go like, they're going to do the comedy. They go on stage, they come off stage.
Yeah.
And I've seen this where somebody go on stage, they come off stage, and it's not a good set.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a woman or not, and and they hug her.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not gonna hug her.
Yeah, it's not helping anybody.
I can't be with her in the other states she goes and doesn't hit well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no going to be waiting at the end of the stage. It's okay. No, you need to put thick skin on and just come off that stage and like, well, try it.
Yeah.
Move on. But they're like, oh, it's all right. Just hang in there. They're hugging her and comforting her. And they're like,
Jesus Christ.
no. Put the big girl's panties on. Get back on that stage.
Yeah.
And see if they'll advocate.
I don't want some of my funny to rub off on you.
Let's go work on some jokes.
The thing is, mental illness in the comedy scene, then you dovetail.
We all have
so
issues.
much mental illness
I was gonna
in
say,
the comedy
we all
scene.
have some type of issue.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with that.
Yeah, we all.
I agree with that.
It's it's a group of psychopaths.
Yeah, we have the reason we get in front of people and hope they laugh, and if they don't, then we go off to ourselves and cry or maybe drink our sorrows or be like, I'll see you. What they say, this is the only job you can quit that night and then go back the next night. I quit. They're doing tomorrow night. I'm going back. I'm going back to work.
Yeah. It's the only job you can do a lot of things. It's still, I don't drink, but it's so crazy to me that like basically all the so many comedians do, and on stage and all that.
Yeah, because they want to. I mean, well, they call it their boost.
Yeah.
I need to get my fire. Get me started. It was like I
You
did that one
don't.
time. I did that one time, and it threw my set off so bad.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think I had a glass of wine. I was in San Jose. Went on stage. The timing was just. I said, never again will I drink. I'll drink after a show maybe, but not before a show. People are like, yeah, I'll drink. Nope, not gonna happen because you go on stage, you like crack a joke, and you're like man, that timing wasn't right.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. Nah.
It took one time.
Yeah. You learned your lesson.
Plus DUI too. So
Oh, sure. Don't.
do you like your career?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
You want people to drive
The
you
amount of
around?
comics that have DUIs and then also smoke cigarettes, and you're just like, aren't we past these issues as a society? Like,
That's jokes right there.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy how many comics smoke cigarettes. I was like, I thought people were done with those.
It's like either vape or cigarettes
Yeah.
or drinking
Yeah.
on stage in a 3-minute set, a 5-minute set.
I can't get through my 5-minute set without vaping. Yeah. It's so wild here, man. I'll be at the bar at like an open mic, and the bartenders are like hitting vape pens inside, and you're just, how is this allowed? Like, it's so, in Oregon it's not like that. Like, you can't just be hitting vape pens inside. And especially not if you're working.
Yeah. Thanks. You're like, wait a minute. No.
You're very lucky. I know you've been doing this 20 years, so like you're way past this, but you're very lucky to be out of the open mic scene here. It's not a good time.
I still show up, man, because I mean, I'm gonna still
You come to the Stir Crazy mic for sure. That's different though. That's like that's the best mic I've ever been to.
That's a great mic, but I'll go wherever there's an open mic because I want to see. Because you guys be doing your thing on open mic, and like sometimes it'd be a great night, and some nights it's like, I think I was there one night, and I think Lamar was like, "Go on stage, man. You want to do some time?" Like, yeah. And I went on stage, and I was just cold, and I was like, "What the hell is going?" You guys came to see comedy.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about comedy. They were talking about all sexual positions. I'm like 5 comics in, 6 comics in.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I don't know what I was getting ready to say. And then all of a sudden, I was like, you guys came for comedy, right? Yeah. And then I just went into a set. But I was like, why is everybody following one another? The same jokes, and no one's actually trying to tell a joke.
Right.
They were just, I was masturbating. Oh, I was jacking off. Oh, I was having sex. And I was looking at somebody. I was like, what kind of night is this?
I know, it's so crazy. That's the problem with just letting like whoever happens to sign up and get on, go on. Like that room is so good that letting just random comics go up is kind of crazy. It could easily be a book show. They sell it out most of the time. They could just book like, but
It could be.
But the open mics are good too. It's just you get that a lot where you get comics that aren't even ready for that crowd. That's how I'll say it.
I like it.
They haven't done their time miking,
Right.
and they're not ready to perform in a full club. They do okay because it's hard not to there, and then they think they're okay at comedy. It's really annoying.
They think they're okay at comedy. I was at Stir Crazy. Now I'm ready to go big time. It's like, wait a minute. I made business cards.
That room will make you feel better than you are at comedy. All the best sets I've ever had are there. It's like I'm not as good as my best set. I'm not as good as my worst set. I'm the average of all my sets.
I've seen you do well, even at another spot that we were at. I forgot where it was at, but I was like, I finally get to see you do outside of Stir Crazy.
Right. And you're waiting to see who I am on a different stage. You're like, all right, let's see if he's a good comic or not.
So outside, I'm like, oh, dude, come on, man. That's some funny stuff. I was like, okay, this is another Stir Crazy. Let me give you some laughs. Hit the laugh button. But you were at some other spot, and I was like, okay, you got your confidence there.
Yeah.
And people.
That's why you mic. That's why you do bad rooms where nobody wants comedy to be happening, and they're actively upset that somebody has a microphone and is talking to them. It's like if you can make those people laugh, you can make the people at Stir Crazy laugh. Period.
That's true.
If you can make somebody who's mad, you're there.
3 minutes in.
And that's why hosting a mic is good, is because hosting a mic, almost every comic is going to lose the audience, and you have to bring them back every time you get on stage.
That's
It's
the best
really
thing about hosting
good
yes.
for practicing that.
Yes.
You get good at working a crowd and being like, well, that was crazy, but you should give this next guy a chance. He's not going to be a complete psycho as well.
I like Lamar, like, whoa, okay, I'm waiting for part 2 to
Lamar's
understand part 1.
Great host. Yeah, he really is.
I'm like, well, I don't know what that was, ladies and gentlemen, but okay.
Where you headed? You said you're heading to New Mexico after this.
Yeah, Farmington, New Mexico.
You done those rooms before?
Yeah, it's a casino out there, so we're gonna do that. There's another one called Into the Mountain Gods. It's a beautiful casino.
Oh yeah, clean runs will get you. Doing clean will get you into casinos easier as well, huh?
Funny gets you in,
right?
But no, think about this is like when people.
No, I don't. Yeah,
no. When they
like
talk
that.
about clean, but it's like
you have to be funny.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you can make it funny, or if you're clean and funny, and it's like, oh, okay. Even if it's dirty and funny, it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if I don't like when people announce like, oh, he's a clean comic. Don't.
You do a good job of being clean with some edge. Right. It's like you're not. You have some bite to your set. It's not boring.
Right.
Like and there are comics that are clean that you're kind of like, oh, this is boring too.
They kind of just meander their way through some stuff. Yeah. I talk about some issues, but it's also my thing is if I can make you laugh, if I can do 30 minutes, 45 minutes to make you laugh, and you don't hear any profanity, you didn't even think about it. But if you say clean, you're going to be watching every word I say. Mm-hmm. Every word I say, you're going to be like, yeah. So you're not going to be paying attention to the joke.
Right.
That's why I'm just like, do not announce that he's a clean comic. Just like,
yeah, right. Just let me go up. Yeah. That's how it should be. You should stand on your own as a comic. You don't need.
Afterwards, like, you didn't use any profanity.
Right.
Yeah. No,
I didn't.
Thank you.
So I know the words, I just don't say them.
Well, I used to say them.
Yeah.
I used to say some things.
Yeah, but
I used to say some things.
When did that switch come?
Well, I started clean.
Okay.
And then I switched, and I think I was in Virginia Beach doing shows, and then it was like I think I was out here and getting pulled over by the cops a lot in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
So I started saying things. I was going off. I was like, "Save a friend, kill a cop."
Yeah.
Like Keith, I'm like, "No, screw him, because I'm getting harassed too much out here."
Yeah.
And I was doing a show in Oakland, and I was like, "Save a friend, kill a cop." I'm like, "Let me stop, because these brothers will kill a cop." So I do not want to be promoting this. Let me get rid of the clean. Let me get rid of that kill a cop thing. So I pulled that back, and I was like, "Let me work on another way to present this thing." And I'm just like, let me. So yeah, I used to do edgy, but then there's nothing out there because my mom used to tell me, don't be out there cussing and so forth. If you're on TV, you saying profanity, I'm gonna turn it off so fast you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Like what? So there's nothing out there that has me that I don't believe on the internet that has me out there using profanity.
Nice.
Because people have phones nowadays.
Yeah.
And they be filming you, and somebody filmed me once and send it to me, and I was like, oh, so that made me think it was like, okay, because all they need to do is send it. It's like, I saw your son on YouTube.
Right,
And here he is right now. And then this mother, and this so-and-so, and this heifer was, and mom's like, I'll get the phone call. I saw something.
yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. So no, it just works works for me. And there's no need. I can be edgy, and that gets me through.
Nice. I was watching this special the other day, and this comic who had been clean for his whole career, like 5 specials out, comes out, and he's just cursing up a storm in the first like minute of the set. And he's just like, yeah, that's right. I cuss now. I cuss now because I've been doing clean comedy for over 10 years, and I've attracted a fan base that, quite frankly, I hate. So funny. He's like, so I cuss now, like, so that I have like cool people like me too. It's funny. I don't think it's like probably actually a problem.
I find me doing it. It's like, Keith has changed.
Yeah.
He's got a whole special out now. It was called Black. I'm black.
Yeah.
Not back. No, I'm black. No.
All right, dude. That's an hour. Do you have anything you want to promote? Instagram, tour dates, anything?
You can find my tours. I mean, when I put them on my website, Keith Ellis Comedy. You can find me on Instagram, Keith Ellis Comedy, or Facebook, Keith Ellis Comedy. It's just
all that stuff will be in the description of the video too.
So
Thanks so much for being here.
Appreciate you having me in, man.
For real.
It's been fun.
It was.